Hey guys, FilthyRobot here, talking to you about taking on medium-sized noble groups. This is another one of these situations that you won't find yourself in too often. It will be predominantly either during a noble war or if you are raiding for your start. Again, not the background Northern Raiders, although that will happen there, but if you are choosing to farm noble houses for gear and money in the early game. The anatomy of this fight is fairly simple. The strategy behind this is pretty simple. You are identifying the gear that you're trying to farm, and you're trying to remove their back rank damage. The frontliners of the noble houses are extremely annoying. They often have picks, which are very high risk to the player, doing a lot of armor damage and basically instantly destroying your armor, especially in the early game when you don't have much armor. And presumably if you're fighting small groups of nobles like this, you're here farming gear, so your gear is probably not that great. And they're very hard to kill. They have both fast adaptation as well as increased stamina recovery, as well as shield wall and good melee defense, which means that you just there are times where if you attack the front rank again and again, you will just never hit them and you will lose to their back rank. All their damage comes in the form of arbalisters and billhooks or pikemen, or whatever you want to call them, a combination of pikes, billhooks, and pole hammers, as well as the banner. And then these Y-handers and sergeants. So these are the targets that you want to get down. Sergeants are a pain to kill, but they wear no headgear. You can do stuff like focus their head. It kind of works, kind of doesn't. They have nimble, they're fairly tanky, but they wear gear that's too heavy for nimble really, so you can get some damage in that way. The best way to kill their archers is your own archers, the same with their billhooks and polearms. This is one of the reasons that archer strategies are so valuable. They're good versus goblins, they're good versus raiders, and they're very good versus nobles. They allow you to basically take fights you would not be able to take otherwise. Disarm is okay in this fight, less so now that it got nerfed to 4 AP than 5 AP, or excuse me, from 4 AP to 5 AP rather. And your goal is to get on their back rank as soon as possible. There's a couple ways this fight can go wrong, and I'll show you that with a little bit bigger fight a little bit later. But basically, if you are tied up on their front line too long, you can lose. And if you get a little bit unlucky in the early game with the number of their crossbow hits, it can also be quite painful. Don't be afraid to run brothers away, especially in the smaller version fights of this. And don't be afraid to be like, I can't get this gear. This is now a fight about survival, not about a fight about gearing, and just kill some stuff that you might otherwise not want to. Their resolve is pretty bad overall for nobles, so it's fine to break their resolve. But if you're going to attempt that, you need to disable or kill the bannerman, because the bannerman will fix the fact that their resolve is so bad. So killing the bannerman can be good, but it's often difficult to get to the bannerman. He's not any easier to reach than their other back rankers, and sometimes you're just not able to do that. What else? Be wary of high ground. You're often outnumbered, and be willing to back up. I do use shields in these fights, but not a lot. Again, it is a DPS race, although it's kind of a weird DPS race. Your front line is not doing so much DPS as your back ranks. You need to be killing the stuff that matters, not the stuff that doesn't matter. And try to identify ahead of time, once you start a fight, what stuff you care about looting. In this fight, for example, there's almost no gear that we actually care about, and mostly I'm after the crossbow off the arbalister, and otherwise just maybe a couple helms here. So I'm not so concerned about daggering people down. You can see me trying to get on the back rank as much as possible and dealing with the footmen as they come to me, but not actively trying to interact with the footmen. The footmen are a trap for us to attack. All right, hopefully found this fairly helpful. One other thing to be aware of with the noble fights is how they spawn. Be aware of what buildings on the map, like watchtowers, spawn armies, and try not to get in a position where you are surrounded by multiple armies coming in at once. So you have to pay attention. I move at a slower map speed when I'm around the noble stuff, because there's just too often I get surprised by a noble army coming out of the forest, or a mercenary group coming out of the forest, or a group spawns, etc. So be aware of that going into it. And hopefully you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching, guys. 12 heavy sergeant in there too, with the standard bearer and a sergeant. 12. I was kind of enjoying those 9 fights. We're gonna start losing people with 12, I think. It's pretty close. I just pike spec this guy right now. Just the banner out of the sash eventually. Probably just anticipation for now. Whip's been doing pretty good work versus the nobles. He's got my blue 150. It's just repairing right now. I really like Zach to live. Maybe we just pull him out for this fight. Throw in Mickey D and let either Mickey D or Homie Chop die here. Not deliberately, but just they're likely to die here from these positions. Picked up another dog too, right? Yeah. I don't know if we want this fight or not. Don't really have an archer capable of doing anything to their back ranks right now. Sergeant, standard bearer, few arbalisters, a few billmen, some footmen. It's going to be really obnoxious. Is it? Like, the sweet mail is not... The only good stuff out of that is the sergeant. Really be nice if we hadn't taken that unnecessary wound by walking into melee range of that standard bearer in the other fight. Certainly attempt it. Have any extra stam on these guys? 63, 71, we do. Let's try it. Hammer. Hammer does so much damage. I don't recognize his mail either. Is that 150 without a coloration? Really annoyed about that miss. That's good though. That's certainly bad news. Doesn't give me increased range here, which is kind of annoying. They're not going to approach this. Can always come off next turn, the thing. Alright, you just still disarm, so I use one. Alright. Don't like this. Wounds for everybody! Sweet. Is this a attack through both them moment? I think it is. That needs to be dealt with. Annoyed that didn't kill. Lost the high ground by taking the scythe attack though. Yeah. Oh, he didn't take the high ground. I would have expected that. Plenty of wounds for everybody, but this is the next size of fight we want to be taking, so maybe this is just fine. Missed our disarm finally. What? I swear I recovered last turn. Getting a bit low over here. I don't want to get hit by that bill hook or the billman from here. I also don't want to be totally without cover from the crossbow. This might be a turn to move away. Sergeant's been waiting to do that all fight. Nice. Two hits through shield wall. Crazy. I don't have the stamina to do it after the moving. It sucks. I might die if I walk in and swing here on Care Bear. It's a pretty good chance of hitting. Should have done that. Ah, it's actually really annoying. I should have switched to a dagger. I don't want to fuck up his armor. Nice. You know, the clockwise hit rolls. So we just got, by putting him there, it makes him attack as opposed to this guy. Okay. Alright, Sergeant down. Disarming the sergeants have helped a lot. Arbalister dropped their stuff, picked up another 150 to 130s. Some good stuff in here. Okay. I think it's way better in a Great X.
A gleaming endowment.
The blood god was denied my blood once. His thirst must be slaked, so once more unto the breach.
I understand, Doug's. We cannot keep him waiting. Thank you for the donation. I will add you in. Done. Cheers to the $20, man. All right. Looks good. Let's walk away from here. All the mods need mod at the beginning of the name and you fucked it up by renaming? Wow. Okay, good to know, Kex.